Good day, Junior Tuckies, and to anybody else who might be tuning in. Welcome to this grade 10 English lesson on paragraph conventions. Today we will be looking at syntax and semantics. My name is Miss Langtree and I am going to be your teacher today. Let's get started. Right, let's start off with the word syntax. What is that? Well, the word syntax is from Greek origin and it means arrangement. Syntax is the arrangement of words in a sentence. How are the words ordered in the sentence? Okay, so basically, you are trying to tell a story to someone, you're trying to relay information. Are you trying to say the man walks the dog or the dog walks the man? The arrangement of the words, aka the syntax, strongly influences the way in which your sentences are interpreted by others. And another reason why syntax is important is because of the next example. Is it the man listening is to the boy, or is it the man is listening to the boy? Right. If the syntax is wrong, if the words are muddled up, it is incorrect often. All right. So the correct answer is the man is listening to the boy, right? Because because that's an auxiliary verb, and because of the way the sentence is kind of made up, that it needs to be in the correct order, which is the second option. And that is why we need to comment on syntax and know our syntax quite well. Okay, so now we know that syntax is the actual arrangement of words in a sentence. So what are semantics? What are we talking about with semantics? Okay, well, sometimes people are just not on the same page. So semantics is when the syntax is correct, but it refers to the words in a sentence and how they are interpreted or understood by you. Okay, so everything's fine. The grammar is fine, the punctuation's fine, the syntax is fine. But what the writer or the speaker meant to say is not being interpreted correctly or as being interpreted differently by the reader or the receiver of the sentence. Okay, so how you interpret it. Often sentences can have more than one way of being read and understood. This is sort of a stupid example, but it's going to get stuck in your head. And because it's stuck in your head, then you'll never forget semantics. And this is just the classic. Someone texts you, it's fine. Okay, so a friend asks for a favor and you tell them, sorry, I can't. Okay, and they reply with, it's fine. I can guarantee every single one of us, if we got this text, would start analyzing the semantics. What do they mean by it's fine? How should I interpret this? Do they mean it's fine, as in everything's great, don't worry, it's fine, we're friends, I'll forget about this, that you even asked? Or do they mean it's fine, but it's kind of a passive-aggressive or sarcastic, or are you kidding me? Okay, it's the opposite of fine. They don't want to fight, but they're not happy with you rejecting them. Okay, so that's semantics for you. That's why it's important in paragraph construction, because you might want to be clever with your semantics, or you just need to make sure that what you're trying to say is what's being interpreted at least 50% of the time by the marker, the reader, and the person marking your writing. Okay, if you are debating and grappling with what is meant by a sentence, you are questioning the semantics. There are many kinds of meanings that can be gained from text. Absolutely there is. Alrighty, goodness. What do we have here? We have some candy floss on the left-hand side. Lovely pink sweet treat. All right. And then on the right, we have a very muscular sort of rock statue. This is a strange slide, isn't it? What is going on? Well, I am going to elaborate on semantics a little bit more using these examples, okay? Because semantics are closely linked to dictionary definitions. Think about it. If semantics are the interpretation of words, okay, why was the dictionary invented? people needed to communicate with one another in an effective way. It's frustrating if people don't understand what you're trying to say. Okay? We want to understand each other. So words were created so that we could discuss what we understand in the world. Okay, some deep stuff. I bet you haven't thought about this before. Okay, so, however, semantics actually goes beyond the dictionary, because in the real world, people think and people interpret concepts differently. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I'm going to mention cougars. Okay. Cougars, it's quite funny. It's, like 50-year-old ladies who date, like 40-year-old men. All right. They are called cougars. But it's actually a large cat in America. So I'm sure there's large, sort of like our leopards and our lions. Okay. So in America, I'm sure there's some towns who just think cougars are animals, with claws. But really they are, older ladies who like slightly younger men. So anyway, what was my point? Oh, that the real world interprets different words differently. Let's think of the word flossing. I'm not sure if you know what that is. Of course, flossing is when you clean your teeth with something that's like a long string, but in modern culture, lots of kids do this dance move that's called flossing. That's really difficult to do. So basically, the world interprets words differently around the world. Okay? But let's go back for a second to the original sort of people and how they invented words to get by and to communicate with one another. And there's some really great examples out there. So I'm just going to alter my microphone quickly. Sorry, it was falling off. In Afrikaans, spookasem means candy floss. Okay, it's a combination of the word spook, which means ghost, and asem, which means breath. Ghost breath, okay, is candy floss. Isn't that brilliant? Because it is super, super light and fluffy, just like breath, I suppose, if you think about it. And also, as soon as you eat candy floss, it sort of disappears and fades away, exactly like a ghost. So, because of the light, fluffy texture, of course. So, of course, this is just the most beautiful interpretation of that candy, I must say. I think we should all just start calling it spookasem because it's better. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion. Okay. Then, sometimes a concept which is one word in one language is actually multiple words in another language. So sometimes languages have done better at interpreting a concept, and they've just done it in a more succinct and compact way. For example, in Swahili, jabali, which is the most amazing word, means strong as a rock in English. Which one is more catchy, I ask you? I think we can all agree it's jabali. Okay, it's one word, and this word is used to describe an array of things. It describes a strong person. Now, how do you interpret a strong person? Okay, I bet you if you all wrote down a definition right now, you would all have very different definitions, because perhaps a mom, who works all day and then comes home and is there for their family, that is an incredibly strong person, a committed person who takes their responsibility very seriously. But perhaps, someone thinks of strong as only muscles. But from experience, I can tell you people with lots of muscles sometimes aren't strong, and they don't cry and they hold in their emotions, when maybe strength comes from crying and being vulnerable. Have you ever thought about that? Okay, I digress. But it also refers, what I'm trying to say is people can interpret strong differently. And that's why jabali is such a powerful word in Swahili, because it can refer to members of the community or a family member who is dependable. You can lean on them and they're the voice of reason. How cool are semantics, really? I think so too. Sometimes one word can have multiple meanings too. For example, look at the word ring. Okay, context is so important with this word, because just any circular shape is a ring. Look at somebody making a ring in the ocean with a speedboat. Do you see how it envelops within itself as such? And also a ring is a piece of jewelry, okay? And also a cell phone can ring. So this word can suddenly transform into a verb as well. So this is just to show you just how important context is. The surrounding information is so important in semantics. Okay. This concludes our lesson on syntax and semantics. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned for the practice video where we're going to dive into this topic further. But for now, goodbye.